Pete'sTools.com.
So guys, you're having trouble with your MIG welder and your wire starts to tangle up and it looks horrible like this and you can't seem to get your gun to run properly and it's just causing you a whole lot of issues. Anyway guys, I've got a couple of tips for you, might help you out. Same as usual guys, you like my channel, subscribe, drop me a like, drop me a comment, come say good day in the comments down below, and I'll show you what I've learned over the years guys, how to stop this from happening. And you'll be welding like a pro in no time. Yeehaw! So guys, whether you're running a large welder like mine or you've got a smaller MIG welder, a little portable one, the principle's about the same. First what you want to do is figure out what wire you're running. Are you running a flux core wire like this? Or are you running a solid core wire like this? Because it depends on how we set up our tension here for a start. So first of all, I will show you what to do with flux core wire guys. Now flux core wire is a little bit more tricky than solid core wire guys. A lot of you guys use flux core and I've started to use a lot of flux core as well, and I'm actually starting to prefer it now because I do a lot of work outside and that sort of thing and the gas doesn't blow away and it just saves a whole lot of drama. But how you set it up is just a little bit different. With flux core wire, if you have a look at this straw here, this is a big exaggeration, but if you have a look at this straw here, you imagine this straw here is the wire going through your tensioner here, and then what we're doing is we're putting tension on our wire like so, and flux core, being that the core is hollow like that, you imagine that is your wire like I said, and you're putting pressure on it, what's it doing? See, it's just going to crush the straw like that. Then that's, if you put too much pressure on this, it'll crush your wire and that won't go through your liner properly. It'll start hitting on the edge of your liner as it's going through your gun, and then it won't be round anymore, and then it won't go through your contact tip at the end of your torch, and you're going to have all sorts of bother. So just check that you're running the right size wire for the right size roller. Here, let me explain. Now guys, I'm running 0.8 of a millimeter flux core wire here. Now what you want to do is check what your drive rollers here are set on, and you might say, well, how do you set them, Pete? I'll show you. You drive roller here like so, and take it off, and it doesn't matter what your machine you've got. 9 times out of 10 there's going to be 2 different sizes on your drive roller. So if you have a look and you take your drive roller off, and remember I have 0.8 wire here, so if I pull this off, and some of them will come off in one piece, some of them are like this, some of them are solid, but it's all basically the same. So if you look here guys, you see it says 0.8 of a millimeter, can you see that on there? And if we go to the other side of the same drive roller, it says 1.0 millimeters. So they're the most common sizes we use here in New Zealand, between 0.8 and 1 millimeter. So this drive roller will basically take anything from 0.8 to 1 mil. So when you're using flux core wire guys, remember what I said before, how it can squash your wire down when you turn this thing up here. So what we want to do is get the closest drive roller to the wire that we've got. So I'm running 0.8, so what I want is the 0.8 wire. If I was running 0.9, I would go, well, I'd probably go to 1 millimeter, just so I don't have to squash it so much, if you understand what I'm saying. So like I say, well look, see which side's what, so that's 0.8 here. So the inside groove here is the one that's going to be driving. So we put it in at 0.8. Just like that. Now we've got the 0.8 in the groove where the wire is, and we'll just screw that back on. So what that's giving us now guys is our 0.8 wire is in a 0.8 groove, so we're not going to have to push the living shit out of it to get it to drive through. And if you're still having issues, once you've selected the right groove, try a knurled drive roller. And I don't have one here because I've got away with it so far, I haven't needed one. But a knurled drive roller, here I'll put a picture above of one. It's got little kinks cut out of the side of it and it just grabs the wire as it goes through, so you don't have to put so much pressure on it. But I find 9 times out of 10, as long as I'm pretty close with the normal straight drive roller, I can get away with it. But if, like I say, if you're still having issues, try a knurled drive roller. So we'll just put that back down there like that. Just tighten them up a fraction. Right, now I'll show you a little trick to make sure that you got the right tension on your drive rollers here, even if it's flux core. So guys, if you made sure that your drive roller is as close as possible to your wire size, like I showed you before, and you just tweaked it up a little bit, then I'll show you this little trick here. Make sure that you don't have your earth or your ground on your welding table, and I also turn the power right off on my welder. All I'm basically doing is having the drive rollers going, so basically I'm not welding. So get your torch and put it on an angle like that on your table or on a piece of wood or whatever. So we'll pull the trigger, guys, and see it's just spitting a bit out there. So what we'll do is just tweak up the drive roller a little bit. So now, guys, I've done about half a tweak on the drive roller, and what we're looking for is the wire to come out, hit the table, not stop, and just curl right round the gun. And that means we've got the precise tension that we need. It's not going to bird's nest, and it's not going to jam up. Anyway, give it a crack, Nigel. Give it a crack, Pete. Rightio. Still quite not enough, guys. We'll just tweak it up just a little bit more. Third time lucky, guys. Let's see what happens. Here we come. Here we come. See it curling over, guys? Perfectamundo. Look at that, eh? Yeehaw! What it's doing, guys, is hitting the table. It's not jamming in the welder, and it's just coming up, curling right round. So we've got exactly the right tension. And this is flux core wire, guys. See, I got away with using the other rollers. Right, guys, another really important thing to do, and a lot of people don't realise it. Also, no matter what sort of welder you've got, you're going to have a tensioner here. As you can see, this is not a tensioner on this. But if I take this off, some of you guys are going to have a big nut here that you can just unscrew or screw up. Some of you guys are going to have like a wing nut inside, and mine's like this. Mine's got an Allen screw in here that does the tension. And you're saying, well, why do you need tension, Pete? Because this just spins independently on the shaft, but it doesn't, guys. Hey, look at this. Can you see here? There's a locating pin here, and even if you've got the big coil of wire like this, see there's a locating dowel in here, and what that does, if I take this off without spilling my wire everywhere, and it goes everywhere, move that over there, Pete, without doing a whole lot of damage. Can you guys see that in here? Hold on, I'll turn the machine on and I'll do it by hand actually. See that locating pin in there, guys? That locating pin in there goes into this dowel here. So what it's doing is it's locking it onto your drum so that it can't go like that. But you need the tension, the correct tension on there, because it's not freewheeling, if you understand what I'm saying. So you need to lock your welding wire in with this pin and then adjust the tension. And also, guys, always remember to feed the wire from the bottom, not over the top. If you go over the top, it's likely to bird's nest. You need to feed it from the bottom so it's on the bottom drag all the time. So I'll put this back on here without the wire springing off everywhere. And then I'll move this around until we locate into the pin. Feel the pin behind it with my finger there. We're located into the pin there. See that wire's tried to start to spring back there, guys. Just got to keep an eye on that, eh? So I've turned the welder on, guys, and as you can see, look at the tension here, and look at the wire feed, and try and look there. You need 3 eyes, I know that, but you watch what's happening. Pull the trigger. It's really straining to pull that, and it's slipping on here. What it's going to do is bird's nest if I don't watch what I'm doing. It's because the tension here is way too tight. See, watch again. See, it's hardly moving, guys. So the way to fix that, guys, is just to loosen off the tension in here, but you don't want it so loose that it spins backwards. But like I say, you will either have a nut like this, or you'll have a big plastic nut on the front, or you'll have something. So if I undo it a little bit like so, and then we'll try it again, guys. See how that's much better now? Look at that. Yeehaw! And it's not rolling backwards. You watch. Start, stop. Just stops. It doesn't roll backwards. So that looks good enough for Pete. Yeehaw! So I'll just put my cap back on. And we're away. Now exactly the same principle, guys, if you're using solid core. Solid core is a little bit easier to handle through the drive rollers. That's what I've found anyway, rather than the flux core. So guys, that brings us to the Mig Linus here. This one here is from 0.8 to 1 millimeter. With these things here is they get a lot of crap in them and a lot of dust in that, especially if you're using flux core wire. They get filled up with dust and that sort of stuff. And another problem is people use a too small a liner and put too thick a wire in it, and it won't run through. So basically it gives you the indication here of what wire you can safely run through it. So make sure you choose a liner that's about mid-range. Don't use one that's too big or one that's too small, otherwise your wire's either going to go in there and it's going to kink, or it's going to vibrate on the side, and it just won't weld properly, guys. So just check your liner as well and make sure it's not full of gunk, especially if you're using flux core wire. And then we have the contact tips in your guns, guys. See, another thing here, so this is 1 millimeter, and you can't run a bigger wire than 1 millimeter through here because it just won't run. And once again, you also don't want a contact tip that you're running too small a wire for the contact tip, because what this does is holds the electrical current. So your contact tip's in your gun like this, obviously, guys. It's right here, this is your contact tip. So what you need to do is have the right size wire for the right size contact tip. Here, I'll show you. Here I've got a 0.8 solid core wire, so what I want is a 0.8 contact tip. So your wire slides through like so, and if it's the same size, then it goes through. And then when you're touching your steel like that, you're not getting the vibration of your wire, so therefore you're having a solid electrical contact all the time. But if you use a contact tip that's too big, the wire's going to vibrate in here and it's going to be power on, power off, power on, power off, and you just can't weld properly like that. It's just impossible. And also, if you've got the wrong size contact tip and you're forcing your wire through, you're going to get bird's nest in your welder. They're like a lot of you fellas do. So anyway, this is another tip for you guys. So guys, that's about the long and short of it. There's nothing worse than you go and do some welding and then you get a big bird's nest in your wire feeder and it just turns you nuts. So it just drives me absolutely crazy. Anyway, same as usual, guys. You like my videos, subscribe, drop me a like, drop me a comment, come say good day in the comments below if you want. And we'll see you next time, eh? Bye.
Pete'sTools.com